This is one of the craziest weight loss studies I've ever seen, like full 180 category defining stuff. A new trial is showing we can preserve muscle while losing fat on Ozempic. But there's a caveat, and it's kind of disappointing, but stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. So here's the deal. Semaglutide, better known as Ozempic or Wegovy, helps people lose weight. At this point, everybody knows it. It's been all over the social media, late night shows, even the red carpets. Like if TikTok had a food pyramid, Ozempic would be at the base. We've seen people drop 20, 30, even 50 pounds, and that for a lot of people has been life-changing. It helps with blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, the full health makeover. But here's what people don't talk about enough. Semaglutide doesn't just help you lose fat, it also takes muscle with it. The main way it works is it acts as an appetite suppressant, which means you will have a large calorie deficit. And when you have a nutritional deficit like that, you previously did not get to choose what your body is going to use as fuel. In fact, about 35% of the weight loss on semaglutide is lean mass, which mostly means muscle. And that's a real issue because muscle isn't just about looking jacked in your vacation photos. It's about not looking like the celebrities on the red carpet that look like they're perpetually sucking on a straw at all times. Muscle is protective. It keeps you strong, mobile, and independent as you age. More muscle is linked to fewer falls and fractures, better blood sugar control, less time in the hospital, and yes, a longer life. In fact, muscle mass is a stronger predictor of survival than BMI. It's like, would you rather be skinny and struggling to get off the couch or strong enough to carry all the groceries in one trip? Exactly. We all want to be the one trip kind of person. So yeah, Ozempic helps you lose weight, but if it's at the cost of muscle, you might be setting yourself up for problems later on. So what if we could keep the weight loss, but ditch the muscle loss? What if we could make this next generation of obesity treatment not just about losing weight, but losing the right kind of weight? And that's where the Courage trial comes in. Along comes Regeneron Pharmaceutics. This is where things go from interesting to wait. Are we in the future levels of wild? Regeneron, the same company behind drugs like Dupixent and monoclonal antibody therapies, decided to test semaglutide in combination with not one, but two experimental muscle-preserving antibodies. Number one is trevogrumab. This one blocks a protein called myostatin, and myostatin is like the body's muscle brakes. It tells your body to stop building more muscle. So when you block it, you lift the brakes, and in theory, your body can preserve or even build muscle more easily. It's the same concept people have tried to tap into with gene editing and bodybuilding compounds for years. Some animals born with myostatin deficiency are basically walking tanks. Look up double-muscled cows if you want to fall into a weird internet rabbit hole. Then there's garetosmab. This one blocks activin A, another protein that can limit muscle growth and is involved in inflammation and wasting. If you block that too, now you've got two separate brakes taken off the system. One that keeps muscle from breaking down and possibly even encourages it to grow. And God, the name of antibodies are always so incredibly hard to say. I'm really wondering if there's not really a better naming convention. Like adalimumab is much harder to say than Humira. That being said, I do hope they have a much easier brand name they come up with. In the meantime, I'll be calling this one Swolzempic. So here's how the Courage trial was set up. They enrolled people with obesity, BMI over 30, and split them into groups. One group got semaglutide alone. One group got semaglutide plus low-dose trevogrumab. Another got high-dose trevogrumab, and the fourth one got triple therapy, semaglutide, high-dose trevogrumab, garetosmab. So let's start with semaglutide alone. And semaglutide did what semaglutide does. People lost weight, about 23 pounds on average over 26 weeks. And that's consistent with what we've been seeing in trials like STEP and SELECT. It works, no surprise there. But this is the part people don't talk about enough. Almost 8 pounds of that weight loss was lean mass. That's 35% of total weight loss. So yeah, people are dropping fat, but they're also shedding muscle. Then there's the semaglutide plus trevogrumab, and here's where things get awesome. Add in trevogrumab, the myostatin blocker, and lean mass loss is basically cut in half. That's a massive deal. Muscle wasn't just being spared, it was being protected. And here's the wild part, fat loss actually went up. So not only are you keeping more muscle, you're burning more fat, and that might be due to maybe keeping more metabolic tissue, but I don't know, it's like the best possible version of a GLP-1. More results, fewer consequences. And then there's the triple therapy, semaglutide, trevogrumab, garetosmab, and we're not even done. We still have the full cocktail, Ozempic. With the triple combo therapy, people preserved over 80% of their muscle mass. That's borderline unheard of in weight loss science. And they weren't just maintaining it, they were shredding. We're talking 25 pounds of pure fat loss and 30 pounds total on the scale. And that's not just you lost weight, that's you lost the right kind of weight. Let me say that again. More fat loss, more muscle kept. That's not just better numbers on the scale, that's high quality weight loss. And honestly, that's insane. Like, this is one of the most revolutionary studies I've seen in this space because it's solving the biggest weakness of GLP-1 meds, muscle loss. GLP-1s like Ozempic help people lose weight, but at a cost. This combo is like Regeneron just entered chat and said, Ozempic was cute. Imagine if it didn't skip leg day. We're talking about turning a drug that helps you lose weight into a therapy that helps you lose fat, preserve muscle, and potentially age better. It's a full 180. It isn't just cosmetic. It could change the way we think about obesity treatment, aging, and even chronic disease management. Though hopefully not abused by bodybuilders or the Brian Johnsons of the world, but think about older adults who naturally lose muscle as they age. It's called sarcopenia, and it's a huge driver of falls, fractures, and loss of independence. Most of them can't just start deadlifting 3 times a week, or people with physical disabilities where exercise options are limited, and losing muscle during weight loss isn't just frustrating, it's dangerous. Even folks with chronic conditions, cancer, autoimmune diseases, long COVID, where preserving strength is part of survival, not just aesthetics. This combo, whatever we end up calling it, Ozempic, could be a game changer because for the first time, we're not telling people, hey, can you lose weight or keep muscle? Pick one. We actually might be able to offer both. But, and you knew there was going to be a but this isn't the full story because as good as these results are, they come with some big caveats. We'll get into that in a sec, but man, just based on this data alone, this is big. Now, here's the part that's honestly let me down a little because before we got these human trial results, the animal data, specifically the study in obese monkeys, was absolutely wild. Same combo, semaglutide plus trevogrumab plus garetosmab, Ozempic. And not only did the monkeys retain their muscle mass, they gained it. Yes, monkeys just hanging out, lounging on their monkey couches, not lifting weights, not hitting their macros, not doing creatine cycles, just monkeying around, and somehow gaining lean body mass while shredding fat. Let me show you. Graph 1, total body weight loss. Okay, cool. Both semaglutide alone and the triple combo groups lost about the same amount. Fine. Expected. Now look at graph 2. The triple combo lost way more fat than semaglutide alone. Like a big jump. But wait, if you're following along, they seem to have lost more fat than total mass lost. That doesn't make sense. Unless. Graph 3. Boom. Lean mass. Muscle gains by week 5. Without lifting a paw. That is insane. Meanwhile, In the human study, we're just out here hoping to not lose too much muscle. We're barely hanging on. So what happened? There's probably a few explanations. Dosage. The monkeys might have been getting a higher relative dose. Theirs was based on micrograms per kilogram body weight and twice weekly. Human trials aren't done yet, so I don't know for sure. The duration, 20 weeks might hit different in monkeys, and then there's the biology. Maybe their muscle tissue just responds more aggressively. Or honestly, humans are messy. Our diets, our hormones, our lifestyles, way more chaotic, harder to optimize early on. But still, I was really hoping we'd see similar lean mass gains in people, and we didn't quite get there. Not yet. But it's close, and that's why I'm still excited. But hey, before anyone gets too excited and starts demanding this combo tomorrow, let's be super clear. This is still very much early days. We're looking at phase 2 results here, and just halfway through that. That means half the people are still in the trial and the full data isn't in yet. We don't have the 52-week maintenance phase results, which really show if these gains last or if anything changes. And then there's the triple therapy stuff. Yeah, it looks amazing on paper, but it also came with more side effects, more people dropping out, and even 2 deaths. Now, those deaths don't seem directly related to the drugs, but it's still something we have to take seriously. So while the potential here is huge, it's definitely not a green light for clinical use just yet. It's more of a proof of concept than a clinical breakthrough. Also, let me say this about biologics and antibodies. If you've ever watched their commercials, you know what I'm talking about. They usually spend a good 40% of the ad listing side effects, immune system risks, infections, sometimes even cancer risks. There's a reason these powerful drugs are typically reserved for later lines of treatment when other options aren't cutting it. So yeah, this combo might be a game changer someday, but it comes with real risks, and we need a lot more data before we start ringing the victory bells. So to wrap things up, Courage is honestly one of the most exciting obesity trials I've seen in a long time. It's not just about losing pounds on the scale anymore, it's about the quality of our weight loss. The trial is showing us the possibility of reshaping weight loss for the better, which is revolutionary. But let's keep it real, this is still very early. The data is promising but incomplete. There's more to learn, more people to study, and yes, hopefully a little more monkey magic to see the next phases that hopefully translate to my dream of getting absolutely jacked with minimum effort. The future looks bright, but we have to be patient and cautious. If you want to stay ahead of the science, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let me know what you think about in the comments. Would you consider trying a fat-burning, muscle-sparing combo drug even if it came with some extra risks? Thanks for watching the Chan Checkup, where we keep it real and evidence-based. I'll see you on the next one.